What's up, Edgy Rock Stars? Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Teach On Live. This is season 4, and this season we're giving you a behind-the-scenes look of all things Get Your Teach On. We're taking you behind the scenes to each one of our Get Your Teach On sessions, giving you just a little taste each Monday night of what's in store if you attend a Get Your Teach On conference. I'm Chris Bombano, and on tonight's episode, sponsored by our friends at Really Good Stuff, we're going to be telling you where we're going to be rocking our school from in just a few weeks for our 2019 Rock Your School Conference. So stick around to the end because that is not something you're going to miss. Also, Adam Dovico and Todd Nesloney are here, and we're going to be talking all about how to build a school culture. So let us know in the comments right now before we get this party started, where are you watching from? We want to know where you're watching from. We want to know if you're back to school yet, what's going on, because we know a lot of people have been back to school. Some of you are on summer vacation still, and I'm jealous of you. So let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and also let us know if you're participating in Rock Your School 2019. That is just about a month away. Actually, what's the date? It is exactly a month away. I just thought of it right now. It is exactly a month from today. September 19th, 2019 is the official date of Get Your Teach On's Rock Your School, and we could not be more excited. So let us know in the comments if you're ready to rock your school in just a month. Also, let us know in the comments if you've already purchased your official Rock Your School t-shirt. So if you haven't purchased this yet, you have about 24 hours to do so. So make sure you get on that. Sales are going to end. Pre-order sales are ending tomorrow night. So go to rockyourschoolday.com, grab your official shirt for the 2019 Rock Your School official day. So right after this, go ahead and do it. So write yourself a Post-it, set an alarm to buy your shirt right after this. And Siri is recording everything I'm saying on my watch. So that was awkward. So make sure you grab your official Rock Your School shirt. Also, thanks to our friends at Really Good Stuff, they have a contest going on right now, and there's just a few days left for that. If you go to rockyourschoolday.com, you can enter Really Good Stuff's Rock Your Classroom sweepstakes, where the one lucky grand prize winner is going to win a $2,500 gift card to Really Good Stuff and a free registration to Get Your Teach On New England this October. So make sure you visit rockyourschoolday.com. While you're there, grab your official Rock Your School t-shirt and enter Really Good Stuff's official contest. Now, before we get started tonight, as you know, Really Good Stuff has an amazing promotion going on for their Really Good Stuff subscription box. Now, if you order your first box tonight and this week for their official Rock Your School box, you get it for just $12 with the code RYS60. Check out a little more information from our friends at Really Good Stuff. Get ready to get your kids excited about Rock Your School with our friends from Really Good Stuff. If you go to their website, you can get your first box for just $12 with the code RYS60. So make sure you check it out. It's a great way to pump up your kids for the official Rock Your School Day happening on September 19th. Now, before we get this party started, I want as many Edgy Rockstars in here as possible. So you know the drill. Take out your phone and get ready to film an Instagram story when I count you down from 3. So I'm going to give you a little bit to take out your phone, get ready to start filming. All right, now start filming on your Instagram story in 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? It's Chris Pombano here for another episode of Get Your Teach On Live. On tonight's episode, Adam Dovico and Todd Nesloney are here talking about all things Get Your Lead On. We're also announcing what school we'll be broadcasting for our 2019 Rock Your School. Head on over to Facebook to check it out. Go ahead and post that on your Instagram story. Tag me, tag Adam, tag Todd, tag Get Your Teach On, tag Really Good Stuff, all the things, and use our Get Your Teach On GIFs for your chance to win a free registration to Get Your Teach On. So we're so excited that we're doing that this season. Also, make sure you tune in every Monday night for new presenters and new content giving you free resources. So stick around to the end of the episode so you can find out how you can get the resources emailed to you from each of our presenters each week on the content they're sharing. So without further ado, please help me welcome to Get Your Teach On Live. Todd Nesloney is here. Hey, Todd, what's going on? I can hear you, but I'm thinking that they can, maybe. Talk again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. I was assuming the viewers could hear. I just couldn't hear you in my ear. So I've been being told Adam is frozen right now. So he's probably clicking out and coming back in. So we have some time filler to fill. It's totally fine. Everything is totally okay. It's great. So congratulations on your Wi-Fi being great and no storm coming towards you. So how are things going? I know you've been traveling all around this summer, presenting at conferences, working with schools. Talk a little bit about what you have going on in the world of Todd Nesloney.
Well, exactly what you said. I've started a new job July 1st. I stepped away from being a principal. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. But I'm now working with principals across the state of Texas as the Director of Culture and Strategic Leadership at the Texas Elementary Principals and Supervisors Association, so TEPSA. And so I've got a whole new role there, and I've been able to go to different cities and all across the state of Texas to kind of work with different schools on how to build up their culture, have great ideas for their staff and their students. And I'm still speaking as well, but I know Adam and I also shared some kind of exciting news on Saturday as well.
Oh, I saw some of that, so we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But talk a little bit about your journey as a principal and why it's so important now to speak to administrators and speak to school leaders on incorporating all of this into your classroom. Talk about kind of that journey and why it means so much to be able to speak to administrators and school leaders about increasing student engagement with their staff.
Well, when I think about being a teacher, I know it's one of the hardest jobs in the world. And people who are not in education, they don't get it at all. They don't understand all what we go through. It's not just about teaching kids. We have to do all the paperwork and the phone calls and the meetings and the district expectations. And it can become a lot. And that's why, when I was a school leader and when the work I'm doing now, I really focus on or try to focus on that school culture. Because it's hard enough to come to a job, but it's even harder to come to a job that you don't enjoy. And so if we're not constantly working on the culture, not only of the campus, but on our grade level teams, in our hallway, in our own classroom, it needs to be a place where we want to be. And who's in charge of that? All of us. And, a lot of times people will put all the blame on the principal. And I always tell people, I've worked underneath 4 principals. I worked underneath one that was a screamer, and I was terrified of her. I worked underneath one that I testified in her trial, and she went to jail. So that was an interesting one. I worked under one who was amazing and one that was not quite my favorite, if you get my drift. But I remember that, even though the principal does really affect the school culture, it's not just the principal, because we all know that one angry cafeteria lady can ruin an entire year for a child. And one rude front desk receptionist can make a parent never want to come back to your school. And so all of us can find little things to do to build each other up and to celebrate each other and continue to grow that culture, because it's not a one-day activity or a one-time team building thing. And great, now we're all buddies for the whole year. It's something we always have to be working on.
And you and Adam are going to share some resources to kind of build up that culture at your school. And I think it's so important that you just said it can't just be instructional staff doing these things. It needs to be everyone involved, from the front desk to the cafeteria ladies. That's how you're going to build your school culture. We just did the wildcard takeover with Hope and Wade at the end of July in Pell City, Alabama, at Williams Intermediate Elementary. They're probably watching right now, so shout out to them. And I shared with them that when we were going through hundreds and hundreds of videos, the person who sold it for them was not the principal, was not the teachers, who, although were incredible, it was their front desk secretary who actually recorded a video on how excited she was about the students in her school and everything the teachers were doing. She sold it for their entire school, and she was like, "Me, my video?" And I was like, "It was you," because that's what makes the difference at a school, is that everyone has that buy-in. So don't go anywhere. You're going to be sharing those resources in a second, but we have Adam back. So Adam, how you doing?
I'm here. I don't know what happened.
You
This
made
is
it.
crazy. My internet is usually fine, and what happened? Like Deanna had that a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, it's probably your flash flood warning that you were just telling us before
Apparently, this is like the curse of Monday nights, Chris. I don't know
I
what's
know.
going on, but we just
I
can't
know.
get
That's
it.
right, because the
Needed to
storm's
work right
rolling
now.
in here too. So
We're going great, guys. We're
Perfect.
going great. So just knock up. We're doing great. And Adam, I'm glad. Adam, right before we started, was like crinkling paper and like opening candy bar. Like I don't even know what he was doing. And we were just like, "Can you stop?" It was so loud. He was just like making all the crinkle sounds. So that's just karma, probably, for what
It's
you're doing.
karma. What can I say?
So Adam, we talked a little bit on Instagram Live what you're up to, but I want to talk about Get Your Lead On coming up. Both you and Todd have your first standalone Get Your Lead On conference happening in just over a month, September 27th, Austin, Texas. Talk a little bit about that and kind of how that started, Adam.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to look at the history of it. So a couple years ago, I knew I wanted to take Get Your Teach On and kind of like add a little twist to it, because we had an increasing number of school leaders, administrators, principals, assistant principals coming to Get Your Teach On, and like I know they love the sessions, and you can obviously, as an instructional leader, bring a lot of that stuff back. But there's something to be said about just talking shop sometimes and talking about making school change. And so the best way to do that is to get all the administrators together. And so Hope, I kind of put in Hope's ear once in a while, and Hope, if you're listening, don't kill me for telling this story. But if you know Hope, to get her to do something, you just kind of have to make her think it was her idea. And so Wade knows that well. And so in order to get this done, I just had to keep putting this in Hope's ear over and over. And eventually she was like, "Hey, Adam, how about we do a Get Your Lead On?" And so naturally,
This is just this. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
this is a
You
perfect.
should have seen Todd. I can see all of you, like even when you're not on the screen. And as soon as you said, "Hope, don't tell me if we kill that story," Todd and I were like this. Like both of our faces were like that.
She'll be fine.
All right, keep going. Keep going with the
Hope
story.
eventually said we can do a school leader workshop, and so we came up with Get Your Lead On. And so we just celebrated the first year anniversary, because we started it last year in San Diego, and then we just had our year anniversary in Texas. And from there, now we want to kind of take it to the next level and have that opportunity to make it a standalone conference. And so it'll still be at all the regional conferences and at the national conference, but now we're going to get to travel to even more cities, meet more school leaders, hopefully make more school changes throughout the country. So we're super excited. September 27th, sorry, that would be next week. So September 27th, and we are so excited to have a special guest with us, Dr. Belinda George. And you may know her from a video that kind of went viral this past year called Tucked In Tuesdays, where she went on Facebook, Facebook Live, and did a story to her school. But then I guess, word got around, and eventually students from around the world started watching this. And so she was able to kind of tuck students into bed at night with a nighttime story that was originally intended for her kids, but spread around the world. And so we're super excited. She's got an amazing energy, great story. And so we're super excited to have her in Austin with us.
Now, Todd, people who have been to Get Your Lead On before or Get Your Teach On, what's different about this Get Your Lead On standalone conference? What can administrators, school leaders, coaches, or even aspiring district or school leaders expect at this standalone conference that's different from Get Your Lead On at a typical Get Your Teach On conference?
So when the administrators go to get your teach on, they also go to content or curriculum areas or grade levels that they may not be in charge of or they may not be really interested in at that moment. And so with Get Your Lead On, it's a full day specifically designed for campus, district, and aspiring leaders. And as leaders, Adam and I have been to lots of PD. And for some reason, administrative PDs can be the worst. I mean, they're dry, they're boring. It's about this legal and data and all these other things. And so what Adam and I wanted to do was have a full day with your admin. You could bring your whole team, have an admin team day to really dive into stuff with high energy, immediate takeaways. So you're not bored out of your mind while you're there learning stuff. But then it's not just a day away from campus. Like you can go back the next day and implement some of the ideas that Adam and I share. And that's what we really were passionate about, is we wanted something different because everything else out there for administrators isn't normally very high energy.
We need that. We need that. So if they want to come to Get Your Lead On, they should register at getyourteachon.com. There are only a few seats available. Is that correct? I mean,
Yep.
there's still seats available, right?
Yeah, it's almost sold out.
Yeah, I haven't heard an update on like they're all gone, but they're almost all gone. So I would definitely get to getyourteachon.com if you want to attend the first ever Get Your Lead On standalone conference this September in Austin with Belinda and Todd and Adam, and we're so excited for that. So now, if you're just tuning in, every week on Get Your Teach On Live this season, we're giving you an inside look into Get Your Teach On sessions. So tonight's episode with Adam and Todd is all about tips, tricks, resources, and activities to build school culture, which is what they accomplish with their Get Your Lead On session. So I'm going to turn things over to you all, and then I'm going to come back at the end, and we're going to have a few surprise announcements. So if you're just tuning in, stick around to the end because we have a lot of surprises still in store. So take it away, Adam.
Bye, Chris. All right, so now before I got kicked off before due to internet issues, I know Todd was talking about culture, but I want to quote one of my friends, Beth Huff, who says, culture is not just something you do. It's something that's ingrained into our schools every single day. So it's not a check mark that you just kind of have to do during your day. It's not like getting your attendance done or making sure that you give the homework assignment. It's something that you just live with. And so Todd and I really believe in school culture and making sure that it's something that's truly ingrained in your school. And that doesn't mean every day is going to be great. That doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect, but it's about building a family. And I know both Todd and I, as school leaders, we both aimed for that each and every day, whether we were victorious or failed, we definitely aimed for that every day. And so tonight, we want to share just a few of our fun activities. These are kind of some of those, like, you can bring it back immediately. Like tomorrow, Todd and I want to see these posted on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook with like, hey, we tried this idea. They're super fun. And if you've been to one of our sessions before, you may have had a chance to either play it or see it. And so I'll kick it off with our first one. Now, Todd doesn't know this, but I kind of came up with a name for this. We never had a name for it, and then I came up with a name.
We didn't have a name because we didn't know what to name it.
we never had a name. So Todd, how do you like the name window washing?
Oh like my goodness. Okay, yeah, that'll stick. That'll stick.
I thought that was, it just kind of popped in my head today. So for now, we'll call this window washing. But here's what you do. You get some pieces of plexiglass, 12-inch by 12-inch plexiglass. And here's the thing. So tomorrow, you guys are going to have a chance to download a resource from a Google Drive that Get Your Teach On will send out. And Todd and I put a document in there, kind of a handout for tonight. Well, under this activity, I put a hyperlink for this resource in Amazon. And so it's real simple. You can get like a set of 6 of them for 20 or 25 bucks. It's a good deal, but they're 12-inch by 12-inch plexiglass, clear plexiglass frames. And I'll tell you the wrong way to do this first, because Todd and I made a big mistake at first. When the idea is that you're covering both sides of the plexiglass with something. And in partners, you and your partner are going to stand up to the plexiglass. Here, Todd, pretend you're my partner from afar, and you're going to lick your side of the plexiglass, and obviously the other person is licking their side of the plexiglass. That was awkward there, doing that with Todd.
Yes, it was.
But both of you are licking the plexiglass at the same time. The laughter is obvious. And so the team that washes their window, now that we're calling it window washing, the team that clears away their window the first, or the best, because there's truly no like perfect washing of it, but the team that covers it gets the most away first wins. Now, here's how not to do it. The first time Todd and I did this.
Closely, because Adam had to learn the hard way.
Well, yeah, sort of. So, I mean, back when we first started doing this last year in San Diego, we were like, all right, what kind of material would be good to lick? And actually, Chase, if you put that picture back up, you can see that on that screen there is peanut butter. Well, peanut butter is great because it sticks to the plexiglass. It kind of works when you're licking it. Unfortunately, there are people with peanut allergies out there, and I hadn't really thought about that going into it. Now, luckily, thankfully, we didn't have anyone with peanut allergies when we did this, so that was good. However, last year when we were back in our school meeting at my school in North Carolina, we had a student teacher who we did not know at the time was allergic to airborne peanut allergy, and so she had to get a little epileptic pin, and she was fine, but we learned from all this experience, and so we no longer use peanut products with this. We experimented with some other stuff, and we found that icing, like icing that you put on a cake, or like frosting is probably the best and generally safest, unless you have someone that's really not a big fan of a lot of sugar at the same time. But frosting typically sticks real well on the screen, on the plexiglass, and then it tastes pretty good too. So that's our first activity. It's a lot of fun, tons of laughter, and make sure you get your cameras out because it is well worth the experience to watch this go down. Todd, how about you tell the next one?
I don't even remember what the next one is now because I'm so distracted by that game. It's the Tarp one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a fun game that I used to do all the time in my classroom to start every year out. And so what I do, and we do this with the adults too, because what I love doing with these games is I go and find crazy games that kids play at youth or children's camps and bring them for adults, because adults are just big kids. But in my classroom, what I did was we lay a tarp out on the ground, and I have all the kids get on the tarp. And depending on the class size, you may need to like cut it in half. But I get one of those tarps that have a blue side on one side and a gray side on the other. Don't get a tarp with two blue sides. This makes it complicated. And so they stand on a flattened tarp, and I tell them that they're going to learn about the importance of communication. Because if you don't know how to talk and listen, then you're never going to work together as a team. And I tell them you've got 5 minutes. Now with the adults, we give them about 2 minutes when we try this because they can usually communicate a little bit better than kids. But with my students, which were 5th graders, I told them you have 5 minutes. And what I need you to do is I need you to work as a group to flip this tarp over upside down without anybody ever stepping off. You can't hold onto a wall, a chair next to you, nothing. Everybody has to stay on the tarp at the same time. And when you play this game, what's hilarious, whether you're doing it with kids or adults, they always try to solve it the same way, and it's always wrong. Or you'll see people jumping on each other's backs or all jumping at the same time, all these crazy things. But it's hilarious to watch who takes charge. And so after the time runs out, usually there's nobody ever that figures it out. With my kids, it usually took them 4 or 5 days. So after they don't solve it, I go back and talk to them about, remember I said this was a lesson about communication and listening. Because think about who took charge. Was it one person barking out all the orders? Were they telling everybody else what to do? And with my students, I always told them, look for the quiet ones. Look for the ones who are just watching and taking it in, because I bet you they figured it out. And I bet you if you were to ask them how they think you should solve it, you might be able to get it done a little bit faster than the way you were doing it. So in my classroom, we did it for about 10 minutes every day. It was a team building activity every day for that first week. And so each day what we would do is I would say, you got 5 minutes, nobody would solve it, we'll try again tomorrow. 5 minutes, nobody would solve it. And when they do finally solve it, you learn there's one particular way that you have to do it to actually be able to solve it. And so during the year, whenever they've forgotten how to communicate all of a sudden again, because if you've been in education, you know, adults and kids forget how to actually talk to each other like real people. So when they get to that point, I'm like, oh, pull the tarp out. Let's split up into groups. Let's see if y'all can learn how to recommunicate, and let's flip this over again. So it's fun to play with adults because it's hilarious to watch them try to figure it out, but it's just as great to use in your classroom with kids.
Now, we did this for the first time in Dallas earlier this summer, and we actually had one team able to do it.
I know. I'm shocked. I was just like,
I was
seriously?
too.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody could solve this in under 2 minutes, but they did.
Yeah, that was impressive. So if you're coming to get your teach on New England and you're in our ninja session, start practicing now. We're going to see who can do it. See if you can beat
Yep.
that group from this past summer. All right, so we're on to our third one. Now, Todd, here's the thing. I'm a little bit nervous explaining this next one
You know,
because
this is one of my favorite activities that we've ever done at
I know,
school.
but
So I don't know why it
I
makes you
know,
nervous
but
because I love playing this.
yeah, but I mean, there's people watching who may not be ready for this. Like my mom might be watching this. I know Chris's mom is watching. I love him as Pambanya.
Well,
Like,
it's time to break them in.
Sorry, I
so
was. If you,
I
I know we don't. I know we're supposed to just let you go, but I was literally on the floor crying when the two of you, like dogs, were like trying to demonstrate that.
I
I had tears streaming down my face, so I
Oh,
just finally got myself together. But thanks for
and
letting
then
that
the
out.
shout
Okay,
out
that's
to your
next
mom.
forever
game.
going to be on
Next
the
game.
computer. We're probably
We're on a
going to have
time crunch. We're on
screenshots
a
all
time crunch.
shared online.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just need a
yeah.
GIF of that, like of just the two of you doing that ridiculousness that just happened on the screen. Okay, we're on a time crunch, so
We'll
keep
make
it
it
going. Keep
happen.
it going. Next
All
idea.
right,
Next idea.
all right. So all right. I'm gonna say it anyway. But our next game is called a wet T-shirt contest. Now, don't
Then,
get
then,
don't
then they need to get their minds out of the gutter if they're already thinking
yeah
something else.
don't yeah, it ain't dirty. Don't get your minds out of there because this is a really fun game to play with your staff. Now, here's what you need to do. You need to get a bunch of just T-shirts. Get big ones, kind of like large or extra large T-shirts. The night before, if you are in charge of preparing for this, I need you to put the T-shirt underwater, get it real soaking wet. All right. And then you're going to take some rubber bands and kind of fold it in half, just kind of make it into a ball. The tighter, the better. Put some rubber bands about it, and then take a Ziploc bag. Put the T-shirt in a ball in the bag, and then you're going to stick it in the freezer overnight. All right. Now, when you do this game, you're going to break into teams, and each team is going to get one of these baggies. When you say go, whoever's in charge of this, the team's mission is to get this T-shirt unraveled and onto someone. All right. So the team that gets the T-shirt onto someone first is going to be the winner. Now,
Now,
Todd
we
and I
need
have
to
done
give a
this game.
disclaimer here, Adam, because
What's
this
that?
game can get very violent depending on how competitive some people are, because they will start taking that shirt and just beating it against stuff.
It gets used as a hammer, gets used as a baseball. We've seen it all in this game. But we have seen so many different ways, and some people get really creative too. I'm not going to give away any tips because I want people to play this game and figure out little tips along the way, but there are definitely some ways to uh, kind of beat the system a little bit, but you got to be tricky. So it's a really fun game. Whoever is the Spartan who puts on that T-shirt, give them a high five because that T-shirt is going to be cold and wet. So the game goes really well when the T-shirt's really hard to get open, and some people just try to rip at it, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But the game is so much fun, and to see people just like Todd said before when we were talking about the Tarp game, you see so many different ways of communication. And this game really does take a lot of communication because if one person just dominates and just starts ripping at it, the team that's going to actually talk to each other, they're the ones that are actually problem solving. They're coming up with strategies on how to do this. So another game that really elicits competition, but also communication, and honestly, a lot of fun too. The laughs are just inevitable with this. I'd go with teams of, what do you say, Todd? Maybe like 6 to 8 people is a good number. You can get away with
Yeah,
probably 10.
you want a good size because they're going to want to pass it off and work together. Because after a little while, your hands start getting really cold, so you're going to want to pass it off
Yes.
to other people.
Yep. So it's really fun too when you build up the game. It's called Wet T-Shirt Contest, so that's naturally going to elicit some funny laughter and some concepts going on in people's minds. So build it up, have some fun with it. But it's a really super fun contest and game you can play with your staff.
So I'll share the last activity, and I'll be really quick because I know Chris is probably losing it right now with the time that we're using up. So this is actually one of my favorite activities ever to do. And this is part of Adam and mine's session, a Teacher Ninja Warrior that we do at the Get Your Teach-Ons now. And so with this activity, it's called the Positive Post-it Note. And I talk about during this activity how this is a day that's actually celebrated nationally. And we celebrate it at my school every year. And the goal at the school was that every single adult and child at school got 5 sticky notes. With those 5 sticky notes, they had a job. They had to write 2 sticky notes to their peers. They had to write 2 positive sticky notes to people who worked at the school. And then they had to write 1 positive sticky note for themselves, because it's just as important for kids and adults to recognize the greatness in themselves as it is for them to recognize the greatness in others. And so when we do this session at the conference, what's really cool is we get to challenge the conference attendees to take this sticky note idea, but implement some of it immediately. And so we challenge them to take some sticky notes and write 2 of them to people in their personal life, and then to write 2 for people who are at Get Your Teach On, whether that's somebody at their table or a presenter or a magic squad, and then 1 to themselves. And what I loved is we debuted this at Nationals in the 4th grade room, was our first room that we did it in. And when we do this kind of stuff, you always wonder, like, are people actually going to deliver the sticky notes, or are they just going to do it because we asked them to do it and then throw it away? But what was so cool was to watch them be handed out to different people across the conference and watch it spread. And my favorite photo from the conference was Chris stepping up to his room one night after a long day of doing that kind of stuff. And one of the groups had taken and covered his door in positive sticky notes. And it's just that idea of sometimes it's just that one simple kind word that we need when it's a rough day, or when we forget who we are, or when we lose sight. And being able to hold on to something, I mean, it's great to hear it, but when you see it in writing and you can hold on to that, I don't know about you, Adam, but I still have all the stack that I got from Get Your Teach On. And just like 2 days ago, I went through them again because I was like, I need to pick me up today. And I was like, oh, somebody liked me one day, because, we all forget that we bring greatness to the table. And so this is an easy way to do with your kids, to do as a campus, to do at a grade level, in your hall, whatever. It's such a simple way that you don't have to wait for others to do kindness to you. Yes, there's Chris's door.
There it is.
But you can do kindness to others. And this is a thing that may be that first kind word that somebody has ever got to hold that's been written about them. So why not take and do something that easy?
Man, Chris, you were really loved there. See all those? People love you, dude.
Is Chris coming back? There he is.
Is Chris there?
Can you hear me?
There he is.
Can you guys hear me? Oh yeah.
We can hear you.
Did you hear anything I just said, or no?
No.
Oh, okay. So anyway, funny story about the door. That was my original hotel room for the first few nights of Get Your Teach On, but I had to move to a different hotel room because our friend Corey Collins was there. So he was actually in that room the night where they put all the Post-its on there, and he texted me at like 11 p.m. like, come up to your room. You have to see it right now. So I went up and actually saw the school that did it, and it was so nice. That was probably the nicest thing that ever happened to me. I was like almost crying. Like I was very emotional by it, and it was so powerful. And it wasn't even. It probably took them, 10 minutes to do it, but the impact that it made on me for the rest of that conference, and I still talk about it now, and I have all the Post-its in my bedroom, like right over there. Like that is just powerful, and especially with your staff, with your school, just a great way, not just one time a year, but throughout the year, to really encourage to build each other up and celebrate each other, because that's really what it's all about, and that's how you're going to get that buy-in. So all 4 of those games and activities are going to be in the resource that we're going to email out to everyone tomorrow night. So if you want to get the instructions on those activities and the links to the resources, you can go to bit.ly/GYTO email, all caps, sign up for our email list, and then you'll be emailed that out tomorrow night. So make sure you do that. Tuesday night, it's going to be sent. We have another one right here. I don't know if that's Chase's, or I think it's the lighting guy from the production company. Yes, it is.
Nice.
Chase is talking in my ear. So this was given to our lighting operator from the conference. Someone gave him a Post-it, actually, in the tech crew in the back from our national conference, and he posted on Instagram that it made his year. That someone did
I
that.
didn't even know that.
It was really spread around.
How cool is that? I didn't know that story.
Yes, he
Me
posted on
neither.
his personal Instagram and their like company Instagram that someone went up to
How
them
cool
and
is
did it.
that? All
I
right,
know,
now
really
wait,
cool.
Chris. Now I gotta put a disclaimer out, obviously, for our resource that Todd and I are giving out. Now, some of y'all may be used to like Get Your Teach On style, like from Hope and Kara and Amy, like really pretty stuff, and and it's just beautiful, beautifully designed. Now, sometimes Todd and I will post stuff on social media with like like get your lead on, and like here's awesome pictures of us in these designs. We don't make any of these. Todd and I
No.
have no skills with this. And so when I created this resource, I didn't have time to get it prettied up by one of our friends. And so this is literally one step above Comic Sans. And so I know some of you are sweating right now, realizing that I almost used Comic Sans. I did not, don't worry. But it's just a slight step up. So keep the bar low. All the instructions are on there, but it's not as pretty as maybe you're
Like,
used
I'm
to.
pretty sure the margins aren't even, and it's like two different size fonts. Like, it's
They're not. The margins are not even. Like it's not even aligned. This is, I think it's a font called Ink Free. Is that a thing?
what?
Ink Free? I don't know.
That's like a
I like that
Hey, it's
Adam's
not
giving away that
Comic
he
Sans.
made that, though. I want to make that really clear. Adam made that, so
Whatever, Todd. Like yours would have been much. You would have used comics. Or you would have used
no.
Times New
He would have
Roman.
probably hand wrote it. His would have been hand written, and he would have used like a copy machine to try to
yes,
send it.
yes.
Literally trying to figure out how to get them both onto the live tonight. I was like, oh my word. Like, I'm just trying to teach, and they're like, wait. So I click a link. How does Instagram work? Like, it's the struggle. But you made it, and we're so proud of both of you. We are so proud of both of you. If I had to post it, I would give it to both of you to celebrate you. So, Adam and Todd, everyone. Now, before you go, you guys have a special announcement that you were released on social media just a few days ago. So I'll let you guys take it away, and then we're going to announce where the Get Your Teach On team is going to be broadcasting from for Rock Your School 2019. So you want to hang around for that. But share your really cool announcement that you guys have going on.
So, Adam, you want to
Go
take
ahead,
it off
Todd.
first? You want me to start it and you close it?
Go ahead. Start it off.
Adam and I love working together, and we've stolen ideas from each other constantly because we're super competitive with each other as well. And this Get Your Lead On has really opened our eyes to reminders about how important it is for the role of leaders, but that a leader has many different kinds of people who step into that role. And a lot of the times, those leaders are kids. And we want to continue to share ideas of ways to build up student leaders. And we've been doing that through our stuff. But then Adam and I were talking, we were like, hey, we've got kind of another idea. And what was that, Adam?
Our idea was to get it down on paper in Times New Roman in our new book called When Kids Lead. So Todd and I are super excited to announce that thanks to Dave Burgess Publishing, we will be producing our newest book. This will be Todd's fourth book and my third book. And it is due out spring of 2020. It's going to be called When Kids Lead. And it's going to be all about how to empower, inspire, equip our young leaders with the skill sets they need and the tools that are going to help them get to that next level in life. And the cool part is sometimes those tools aren't used right away, but having them in their back pocket, having kids knowing that your students have the skill sets needed to be successful at that next chapter in life. Maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's years down the line. Knowing that you can instill those pieces in them is very powerful. So we're so excited to share that book with you in just a little bit.
That's right.
Well, the Get Your Teach On team is so proud of you both. Congratulations on that. Luckily, you have editors to make it look not like the resource that you're going to get. Fortunately, we're grateful.
We're good at typing.
The content's there. It's just the cute factor that we're working on.
Exactly. There's people that can help you with that. So if you want more information about the resources and activities you saw tonight on tonight's episode, make sure you visit bit.ly/GYTO email to sign up for our Get Your Teach On email list. And those email resources will be emailed to you tomorrow night. So do that right after this episode. Now, if you're already signed up, if you got the email today reminding you about the episode, you're all set. You'll receive that email tomorrow night. Thank you, Todd and Adam, so much for joining us. You're going to want to stick around, too, because we're about to announce where we're going to be rocking our school. So don't go anywhere, okay? Sound good?
We're here.
All right, awesome. If you want to see more of Adam and Todd, you can visit them at any Get Your Teach Get Your Teach On Conference, or join them for Get Your Lead On in Austin, Texas, September 27th, in just a few weeks. So we promised you guys some surprises tonight, and our next surprise we are so excited about. So we asked you all where you wanted us to rock our school from. Last year we were in LA, an amazing school, and this year we were looking for a school that we could go to, the Get Your Teach On team can go to, and broadcast the amazing things that they're doing at their school and celebrate with them for Rock Your School. So in addition to sharing out all the incredible things going on in the world, we chose one school after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications of people saying they want us to come to their school. We chose one lucky school, and let me tell you a little bit of background before we announce it. I don't want to give it away yet. I see the name of the school waiting on the queue on the screen from Chase, so I want to talk about them first. So last year for Rock Your School, this school went all out. I mean, they went above and beyond for their kids. They had the best Rock Your School Day ever. And then a few weeks later, Hurricane Michael hit their area in Panama City Beach, Florida. And their whole community was affected by this. And this school really served as a core for their community. After Hurricane Michael hit, this school took in over 100 extra students. A lot of their students and teachers were homeless for weeks and months upon end, and these teachers still went above and beyond for their students each and every day. Their rooms were overcrowded, they didn't have the resources they needed, and their school served as a hub for their community for accepting donations and supplies for the other schools that were affected in their community. So we are so honored and excited that the Get Your Teach On team is headed to West Bay Elementary in Panama City Beach, Florida for our official 2019 Rock Your School broadcast. We're going to be heading there. I was told that they didn't know that they won. Only their administrator knew, and that they're all watching this right now. So West Bay Elementary, if you're watching, we're so excited to head to your school in just 1 month for our official Rock Your School 2019. Congratulations, West Bay Elementary. We can't wait to see what you're doing. Also, a surprise from our friends from Really Good Stuff. West Bay Elementary is getting a $1,000 Really Good Stuff gift card to use to rock their school. So no one knew about that one. That was just a surprise from our friends at Really Good Stuff. If you want to win from our friends at Really Good Stuff, make sure you visit rockyourschoolday.com so you can enter the Really Good Stuff sweepstakes and to get your official Rock Your School t-shirt. Head to rockyourschoolday.com, enter to win that grand prize of $2,000 $500 gift card from Really Good Stuff. And you only have 24 hours left to grab your official Rock Your School Day t-shirt. Time is a ticket. 24 hours for those to be on sale. So go to rockyourschoolday.com to Rock Your School in just a month. Grab your t-shirt. Congratulations again to West Bay Elementary. Thank you again to Adam, Dovico, and Todd Nesloney for joining us. And we'll see you all next week on Get Your Teach On Live. See you there.